What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Phillies Hustle Vidcast, and today we will be recapping the fifth game of the World Series as the Houston Astros defeated the Washington Nationals by a final score of 7-1. As the Washington Nationals lose 3 games in a row at home, as that was their last home game of the year. As now the series heads back to Houston for the final 2 games of the series. So, if the Astros take care of business tomorrow night, then the series is over. The Astros are 2019 World Series champions. If the Nationals win 2 in a row, then they're the 2019 champions. So it's going to be hard for the Nationals to win 2-0 on the road. I understand they did it in LA. They did it in the first game. They did the first 2 games of the series, but it's hard to keep that up. It's hard to do it again. So it's going to be a kind of a long shot for the Washington Nationals here, in my opinion. I definitely think I got Houston winning this. It's even more likely now. So let's look at this game. Max Scherzer was scratched due to back soreness, I believe. So, I don't believe. It's true. He didn't pitch. So Joe Ross was the starter in this one. He did not do great. He had neck pain. A neck pain. Yeah, I looked it up right now because I said back soreness. I'm like, I wasn't sure if that was right. So because I know he had back problems, I believe, earlier this year. So I guess I got that confused. So yeah, it was neck pain. So it's still kind of similar, neck, back, So neck pain. I scratched him from the start. Dave Martinez scratched him. So that meant that Joe Ross would be the Game 5 starter. He wasn't great. He got hit around a little bit. Alvarez, home run, 2-run shot, and obviously Correa with the 2-run shot. So wasn't very good outing from Joe Ross. Washington's heading back to Houston. I believe they've wore those Navy jerseys 11 games in a row, which is very strange to me. I guess you can make the argument that's superstitious. Well, they lost the past 2 games. You got to think that maybe they're going to change those uniforms. I'm kind of getting sick and tired of looking at them in those uniforms. Anyway, top of the second inning, let's pick it up. Alvarez homer to center, 405 feet. Yuli Gurriel scored, and it's now 2-0 Houston. Top of the fourth inning, Carlos Correa homers to left, 396 feet. Alvarez scores. It's now 4-0 Houston. Bottom of the 7th inning, Juan Soto homers to center, 383 feet. Another home run of Garrett Cole. It's now 4-1. That was the only run that the Washington Nationals would get. I think I believe they only got 4 runs in this whole entire series. Their at-bats have went asleep, and their failure to hit with runners in scoring position has really haunted them as well. Yuli Gurriel, top of the 8th inning, singles to center. Springer scores. It's now 5-1 Houston. Top 9, Springer homers to left, 435 feet. Maldonado scored. It's now 7-1 Houston. And that's your ball game, 7-1, your final score. Keep in mind that George Springer won the 2017 World Series MVP. Could we see him win again? Let's pick it up at the box score. George Springer, 2 for 3, 2-run score, 2 RBIs, 2 walks. Jose Altuve, 1 for 5. Michael Brantley, 0 for 3, 1 walk. Alex Bregman, 0 for 4. Yuli Gurriel, 2 for 4, 1 run scored, 1 RBI. Alvarez, 3 for 3, 2 runs scored, 2 RBI. Marisnik, 0 for 1, 1 strikeout. Correa, 1 for 4, 1 run scored, 2 RBI, 1 strikeout. Maldonado, 1 for 3, 1 run scored, 1 walk. And Garrett Cole, 0 for 3, 1 strikeout. Tucker, 0 for 1, 1 strikeout. And let's take a look at the pitching. Garrett Cole was so much better. He went 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and 9 strikeouts. He was so much better than game 1. So much better, much more improved. Garrett Cole, so much better. Obviously gave up another home run to Juan Soto, but it was irrelevant. The home run to Soto was irrelevant because it did not matter in the end because the Astros still won the baseball game. So, it was a nice home run if you're a Nationals fan, but it doesn't really mean that much, really. Nationals still didn't win the game, so it doesn't really mean that much since they only got 1 run. 4 runs the whole entire series. So that's pretty embarrassing if you're the Washington Nationals. I wouldn't have thought. I for sure thought the Nationals were going to win this World Series just 3 days ago, and 3 days later, I just showed you this series is crazy, and I don't think the Nationals could win 2 in a row in Houston again. But heck, they proved me wrong. I don't know. Maybe they proved me wrong. Right now, they're on a 3-game losing streak. Smith, so Garrett Cole is so much better. Smith, an inning, 1 hit, 1 strikeout. Presley, 1 inning, 1 strikeout. So that's your Houston scoring or box score. Let's take a look at the Washington Nationals box score. Trey Turner has been absolutely terrible in these past couple of games. 0 for 4, 1 strikeout. Adam Eaton, 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts. Anthony Rendon, 0 for 3, 1 walk. He needs to wake up too. Anthony Rendon, Adam Eaton, like these guys need to start hitting more consistent. Juan Soto, 2 for 4, 1 run scored, 1 RBI, 1 strikeout. Howie Kendrick, 1 for 4, 1 strikeout. Ryan Zimmerman, 0 for 2, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. And Victor Robles, 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts. Yan Gomes, 1 for 3. Joe Ross, 0 for 1, 1 strikeout. And Joao Parra, 0 for 1, 1 strikeout. There's Jubal Cabrera, 0 for 1, 1 strikeout. Let's take a look at the pitching summary in this one. Joe Ross got the loss. He went 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, 1 strikeout. Now, there's a lot of people that say out there that, Joe Ross isn't a terrible pitcher. He's not, but he just didn't pitch well. I don't want to hear any excuses. I don't want to hear anything. He did not pitch well. And I would have liked to see the outcome of this game. It would be interesting to see the outcome of this game if Max Scherzer wouldn't have had that neck pain if he would have thrown the ball. It would have been interesting to see the outcome. Nevertheless, Joe Ross was the starter. 5 innings, 4 runs. It wasn't good enough. Only 1 strikeout. So he was not good enough. And that was just not good enough. The home run, Alvarez and Correa, just the 2-run shots, the 4-0. It just wasn't looking good for him. And he gets slapped with the loss. Tanner Rainey, who's been used a lot by Dave Martinez. Tanner Rainey, who's been used a lot by Dave Martinez, went 1 inning. Sean Doolittle, 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Hudson, 1 and 2/3, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, and a home run allowed. Joe Ross also allowed 2 home runs, so 3 home runs given up today last night by Washington. They were giving up some home runs, and it just wasn't looking good for them. Hudson's the guy who came up the home run this Springer, so. It just wasn't, Hudson has not been good in this series. He's been pretty bad. So, Nationals bullpen. I told you. I said going into this, I think it's going to come down to the bullpens. And I think it's going to come down, I think it's going to come down to a lot of things. What offense could hit the opposing pitchers. So, let's take a look at, it's going to be interesting to see with Steven Strasburg. If you're an Astros fan, you got to hit him. You got to hit him. And, but the thing is I think this is going to go to a Game 7. I think the Nationals might pull it off in Game 6. And it's anybody's game in Game 7. I got maybe the Nationals winning that. I mean, it's Justin Verlander too. That's the thing. It's going to be tough. We'll talk about that. Wander Suero, 3rd of an inning. And that's your ball game. 7-1 your final score. Houston gets Game 5. They now lead the series 3-2. So we're headed back to Houston, 8:07, the first pitch tomorrow night. Washington at Houston. So this game, as I said, but tomorrow night's going to be interesting. Can maybe the Nationals pull off this win? I don't know, against Justin Verlander. But the thing is here, going back to this game, the Nationals just can't hit runners in scoring position. That's the bottom line. You got guys like Trey Turner, who is just hitting 136 right now. Anthony Rendon's hitting 200. These guys need to step it up. And they really do. And Howie Kendrick has not been great either. So their hitters that have, had success aren't really doing much right now. Their hitters that have had success in this playoffs and in the regular season are not really doing much right now. And that's having an impact on how they're doing on the field, of course. That's the results. And the Houston offense has come alive. And it's weird. Both of these teams, they're horrible at home. Combined 0-5 at home. Between the Astros and the Nats, 0-5 at home. So, I got to believe that the Astros are at least going to win 1 game at home. They're going to. It's almost mathematically, it's probably going to, it's most likely going to happen. They are a great team at home. So, I got to think they're at least going to win one of these 4 potential 4 games at home. So, because if they lose tomorrow night, if they lose tomorrow night, then there's going to be Game 7. So that means that there's going to be 4 games in Houston. So I gotta believe that Houston's gonna pull this off. And if they lose tomorrow to Steven Strasburg, then you have Zach Greinke going back out there, and you're going against probably Anibal Sanchez, or they might try to push Patrick Corbin up. Or if Max Scherzer's feeling better, this is what I think they might do. If Max Scherzer's feeling better, then they're probably going to have him go Game 7. And Max, I mean, if big game, big game max. I mean, if he knows that the Nationals ass is on the line, then he's gonna want to go out. I got to think. I mean, he has that in his DNA. He's a robot, man. He's a beast. Like you think, I love this man. I mean, he's great. I wish he was in the Phillies or something, man. It's hard. I can't root for him, but I tell you what, he's a true competitor. I really respect him for that. So maybe he just fights through it and just hey, I'd rather have a sore neck than have no ring. So maybe that's the mentality for Max Scherzer. I'm not too sure, but Steven Strasburg definitely going tomorrow night, no question. He will be opposed by Justin Verlander. So that's going to be an interesting matchup to see. We saw it in Game 2, and it did not go the way the Astros wanted it to go, as that was a 12-13 final score, 12-3 final score. Excuse me. And the Nationals really had good offense in Houston. Do we maybe see that again? I'm not too sure, but they didn't have any offense at home. And then I said they scored a combined 4 runs. I actually take that back. They actually scored a combined 3 runs, which is even worse. So that was my bad. I actually thought they had a 2-run game one time. I was actually wrong. So combined 3 runs in 3 games. That is absolutely horrible. So they got it. They got an off day, maybe change some rhythm. But in my opinion, I think the Astros got this one. And I tell you what, I think that I just kind of touched on it. The Astros. They're a great team at home, and they're going to have to win one of these games at home. They're going to have to. But on the flip side of that, it's going to be tough going against Steven Strasburg again, and potentially in Game 7, maybe going against Max Scherzer. But if it's like Anibal Sanchez, or maybe they move Corbin up, then I'd feel more confident. And you have Zach Greinke going on the mound in that case. So I'm still going to give it to the Astros. I think the Astros got this one. I'm maybe saying Astros in 7. I think maybe they'll lose tomorrow night. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe they will be in Game 7. I said at the beginning of the series, I said Astros in 6 or 7. That was my prediction. I said Astros in 6 or 7. But now, I mean, that looks like that's what's going to happen. But either way, I got one of these teams winning in 7. I don't know. Well, here's the thing. I mean, I don't know who's going to win tomorrow night. It's so tough because when you got these two, I mean, when you got like guys like the other night, like last night you got Joe Ross going against Garrett Cole. That was an easy no-brainer. Astros. When you got one of these guys like Justin Verlander and Steven Strasburg going at, it's hard, really, really hard to choose. But I've said the Nationals, but I'm going to possibly pick them because they've had a really good offensive breakout in Houston. But they need to go out and hit Justin Verlander. They can't come out and only score 1 run and expect to win the ball game because they're going to get crushed. And the Astros, they have their least amount of runs scored in a game is 3. So they don't really. The Nationals only score 1 or 2 runs and they're screwed. So they really got to hit Justin Verlander, which they could do, but they need their big bats like. Well, not. I mean, Trey Turner's not a huge bat, but he's a decent hitter. They need him to wake up. They need Rendon, who's a really big bat in their lineup. They need him to wake up. Juan Soto's been really good, but they need Howie Kendrick to play a little bit better. So I don't know. Maybe they're just in the funk at home, but it's not a good time to be in a dry spell right now. You're in the World Series, and you have to win 2 in a row to win it. So it's challenging. You're at the end of the series. The Astros are dominating you, and you got to win 2 in a row against them at their place. So it's going to be a challenge for the Washington Nationals. I don't care who's on the mound for them. It's going to be tough. So it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top. So 8:07 the first pitch tomorrow night, October 29th, 8:07 the first pitch. Steven Strasburg, Washington against Justin Verlander, Houston. I'm going to touch on this. Joe Girardi's press conference was today at 1 p.m. I'll be making a video about that, talking about what I liked at that press conference. It was fantastic. I just want to give a quick summary on it. It was fantastic. I really, really like what I saw. I love this man. I think he's going to be great in Philadelphia. His mindset is awesome. I think he fits right into the city, and I think he's going to be very, very respected in the clubhouse. So I think that's how I feel about Joe Girardi. I think it's a great hire. So tune in later to give. I actually have to go to practice today. I usually don't have practice on Mondays. I actually have to go today. Otherwise, this video would be probably done to me. I'm probably going to get out of practice probably around 5 or so. So I'll probably have time to go home and make a video about it. So, I mean, regardless, the video is still going to be out. So, guys, get ready for that. Larry Rothschild was fired from the Yankees today. Joe Girardi said he'd love to have him. Obviously, Mickey Callaway went to the Angels. We'll talk about that later. So thank you all so much for watching this video. Please smash a like on this video. Please tell your friends about these videos. Please subscribe if you have not yet. Please turn on that notification bell. Comment down below, who do you think is going to win this World Series? I just got Astros in 6 or 7. And it's gonna be tough to see who wins tomorrow night. Gonna be tough. We got a lot of things. It's blowing my brain, man. I don't know who's gonna win. So thank you all so much for watching this video. I am Luke, and I'll talk to you all later. Thank you.